Sound good?
I don't know, does it? Like, I don't fucking know anything.
It's a great way to start the stream with two very angry women.
So I'm telling you, I'm ready to like scream.
It's gonna be interesting.
It always is. It's the best way that comes out is interesting. All we gotta do is post up on Twitter and Facebook that we're going live, and then we'll get started with the fucking shit.
So they're saying the appointment is out, but snow and cold weather don't mix. So they're basically, or salt.
There's probably not gonna be tomorrow.
No, there isn't anyway.
What is tomorrow anyway?
Monday.
Alright, if you're tuning in, we're just going live now. And of course, that's nobody.
cracking me up.
Wow.
Are you streaming right now?
Yeah.
So this is part of the video. I was just sitting here, me scrolling through Facebook, you doing that, I'm just sitting there like
Well, I'm
staring at
just
the wall.
posting up on the.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. No, it's live.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry we're so damn boring. But you know, there are a couple of lamos and I'm just going
nobody's
through
on there but
Facebook.
us.
Doesn't matter, it'll be posted.
No, there's somebody watching. Hello,
Who would be
whoever's watching.
watching?
I don't know what to say.
What?
I'm just posting up on the
What?
Facebook and Twitter that we're going live.
What?
I told, well, I see. I do have some
Yeah,
people
we
that
just
like my
been boring
stuff.
as hell. Guys, go first.
Well, this is the first like 3 minutes of the stream, and I
I'm
played
going through
music.
Facebook. I just watched the
I'm
video.
gonna turn the
I'm
music up just to drown my
I'm
system.
going to go home and get my wall. Look,
Hello,
baby
hello. I'm
Trump.
gonna see who's watching here in 1
Look,
minute.
baby
It
Trump.
might actually be me.
That's right, just you
Yeah,
watching.
because I had to bring it up to.
Look, baby Trump wants his wall. Look how cute that is. I'm going to hold my
sister
breath
is
till I get this wall. That's so hilarious.
her Facebook because I'm so boring. My lady friend Twyla is like, I'm about to pass out.
She just stared at the wall.
I'm trying to stay awake here.
There.
She's pretty weird.
So interesting.
Next time we're cooking is horrible.
What? Next time what?
This puppy is all covered in snow and saying, next time we're cooking is Please fuck with
What the hell is that?
It's just a little getting started screen.
Trying to look at the full moon. Yeah, it's the full moon tonight. All the weirdos are
Oh, are you kidding me?
There
We
you go.
got Zach saying he's listening from work. Zach Hawkins on Twitter.
What up, Zach?
What up, Zach? If you're listening.
Reach out at 3 a.m. Yes, this is my kids. It's exactly like 3 a.m.
I gotta bring up YouTube so that I can keep track of any comments in the comment section.
Is there any?
Probably not. Nobody cares.
3 a.m. right over the house.
They're shouting into the wind. Well, it wasn't me watching, so somebody else is actually watching. Let's see.
Be scared of
Smoking ice, that's all.
Give me 1 second. Alright, let's see who's watching. Who's watching? No, there's 2 people watching. I think one of them might be me, so there is actually 1 person watching.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so
We're all
let's get
freaking out
person.
because someone's listening.
So
We're
I
like,
have
what do
to
we
chat.
do?
Oh, shit. The rubber
It's stuck in your ear, dude?
from the Skull
Oh my
Candy
God.
earbuds just got stuck in my ear.
We're gonna have to take you to the ER.
It just literally. Okay, shit.
Oh, one of the lollipops. What's the matter?
Yeah, you know what? I want some pop.
Hey, quit it!
He got it stuck in his fucking ear.
Alright, I got it
What?
out. Skull Candy earbuds.
Oh my god,
I'm gonna write a complaint letter on the internet, which people will take so
You got it
serious.
stuck in the ear.
Fucking rubber from the
We would have got it out. We would have got it
Is this girl really dancing in your shit?
I got the chat up, so if anybody chats at us, which nobody probably will, but I don't care, then at the very least we'll,
We'll have sex in here.
no. What was the other podcast? I'm getting your days mixed up again.
I was at Weird yesterday. You let me sleep while you guys did your thing. Oh, you guys did your fun thing, man. I think you guys left me the fuck out. Whatever, dude.
Yep. Just do that on the table. It's gonna make scratching sounds on the microphone. It is low.
I don't really know. That's it. I smoke too.
Alright. I'm gonna bring down the music. Am I being mean to you?
Yeah, you just told me I had to touch yourself.
No, I asked where the lighter was. Okay. Alright. We are starting this whole shebang. First off by closing SoundCloud. I was just playing some of my own stuff so that we didn't get copyright strikes against us for any reason. And this is as, how would you say, a response to the Comics Matter with your boy Zack video where he talks about bland comic book art. It really bothered me because he made it so much about, I guess, very topical things in terms of the Comicsgate movement and about a lot of the identity politics shit, but he wasn't actually talking about the art in a lot of cases. So I'm just approaching this as someone who I feel I have enough experience to talk on art, because I've, done it professionally for years and it's been my at least vocation for, or my avocation for most of my life. And the question he asked in it was, why is modern comic art so, boring, so mediocre? And he brought up, there was a sample image up on the thumbnail, and that was just the image throughout the entire video. And so I figured I would work with that, given that it seemed to be what he was presenting as, a visual sample. I am joined by my friend Twyla, who is thoroughly annoyed with me with how long it got me to get set up for the stream and get everything going. She says it was 5 hours.
It literally was 5. Yeah.
No, I say it was more like 2 hours, but oh,
and I'm just his friend.
I just read the note you wrote on my notes.
Did you?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
It's just speed.
It says, you're a very, very kind man, and I appreciate your company. That's exactly what it says. Alright. So, as I was talking about, the biggest thing that problem that I had was it didn't seem to focus on the art as much as it focused on, sort of tertiary issues around what's making comics and art boring nowadays. He focused too much on these pseudo-social issues and a bit of playing to his audience, I think. The one thing that I think that he actually got right was he said that society doesn't encourage rebellion, and so
Wow, that's kind of deep.
So I do agree with that element of his argument, but I think that it goes a lot deeper than that, and I think at least...
I want to do deeper than that, but just... Nothing.
Forgive me, I've been a little bit distracted tonight, but it's easy to get distracted with such a lovely girl by my side. I think it goes a lot deeper than that in terms of just the craft of creating the artwork. I've brought up the image that he used for his thumbnail. Let me get rid of all the sides things just so I can see the boundaries. Wait, now let's get a straight on shot. And then, let's bring up the side details. I'm still learning this software, so forgive me if I'm a little bit of a noob on it. Alright, close. I'm just going to... Where is the... Oh, there it is. Yeah. I'm still learning how to actually do a lot of the intricacies of this software, so I'm still a bit of a noob whenever it comes to it. I just wanted to take this image and actually show how it could be made more appealing just simply by applying basic drawing skills and basic cartooning skills. The reason I even called it the Toon-Up live stream is because I have another channel that I want to start here soon that is called the Toon-Up, and but I can't seem to stream to it directly at this point, so I want to just kind of do a couple of test streams on my original channel and go from there with it. Okay, let me get rid of this layer.
Oh, there's Miss Heather.
Miss Heather has joined us. My sister.
Hell yeah, girl.
My sister has joined us.
With some cookie cake with icing. I brought the whole thing to his box.
It ain't got marijuana in it though.
No, unfortunately
Just
not.
cookie and ice cream. That would make it easier. Mom.
And yeah, the biggest issues I see are ones that are really easy to explain without having to get into all that identity politics bullshit and all the SJW, Comicsgate, whatever you want to call it, bullshit.
We're talking
Hey,
about
look at that.
A lot of it has to do with basic cartooning skills, and I think that there's not a lot of people heralding traditional cartooning techniques being something that is missing in a lot of, not just comic book art, but just in art in general. Everything's so refined and photoshopped and clean-cutted to the point where it becomes like lifeless. Alright, so we have...
Yeah, I can't believe you said that. So,
Cookie cake,
like
man.
a sky action scene, that really does look like him just crouching on the city.
somebody took a picture of a...
I know, but it's supposed to be a sky action scene, not him crouching on the ground.
all it is the artist probably set their camera up for a 10-second delay, went over, crouched down, used that for a reference picture for the image that they were creating, and then they, you know, it's all shortcuts.
Looks like he's gonna poop on the city.
Yeah, pretty much. He's gonna poop web fluid out his butthole.
I'm glad I bought the whole thing.
Anyway, come on now, spicy.
I'm gonna fucking...
I'm like, I gotta bring this, so they're gonna try to eat my piece.
Where's my beer, anyway?
I don't know.
Cookies and beer, gross.
I'm telling you, you should pick it up, Heather. It's fun.
Yeah, right.
Cookies
We
and
do
beer
have
is
fun.
fucking delicious. Alright.
I want to make some jelly shooters.
We want to make
Some
this
of them.
multiply mode. And we're still getting started
Like Jolly
here, so
Rancher
forgive
Jell-O.
us.
I did that.
I'm gonna unlock
Oh,
this
yeah,
layer.
the Jolly Rancher Jell-O.
Sparkle. And I've been just saving it for until I get a bottle.
We need to go get a bottle.
That would be fun.
With the road to shit.
Alright, I think that's... I'm just like, it's hard kind of to adjust the images with the rotate
Shit.
and resize in this
You gonna draw
program.
over that? Make it
Yeah,
better?
Well, I'm just going to show how it could be made more dynamic with the, with just traditional cartooning skills. Like,
Well, you got some of those?
come again? Oh,
got
do I
some?
have some traditional? I think
Yeah.
I have a few. I don't know. A
Where
lot of
you
people
going?
would probably argue that.
That's it.
I've had so much sweets tonight, I'm probably going to get diabetes.
I have no.
Yeah, we're all.
traditional
This is the diabetes stream
I got more. This is
with
just
Wilford
crap.
Brimley. We're all imbibing
It's like
complex
cookie
sugars
cake
of
with
alcohol and
ice. I don't drink. I'm not drinking alcohol.
cookie pies with icing.
I'm on that milk.
My sister's not drinking alcohol. She's
I'm
on that.
milk,
I'm
boy.
not marijuana diet.
She's got back from the Moloko
Yeah, right.
milk bar from Clockwork Orange.
I do drink milk with my cookies.
This is already getting better than I expected.
Yeah?
I know the cookies are great.
She brought us a snack and everything.
Oh, you make your
Right.
thing, your stream. Hi, people. Oh, no, people? There's no people.
A couple
Is
people
anybody
liked
out
it and
there-
commented already.
Is there
See, I
anyone out
covered up
there
my.
in the internet land listening to us? You have a cookie.
Let's see. Yay! Steinquist is listening in.
What up,
Your
girl?
Oracle?
Yeah, yeah. She how do you say she?
I'm going to message you
replied in the
soon.
chat. All right. Someone tried to get focused. Let's take a sip of beer.
Yeah.
What we want to do is kind of break down what he said
Now you get more than 90 on YouTube.
and how I think some of that was kind of bullshit. At least the way he presented it. And he's a friend of mine on Facebook, so like I'm not even saying it to like just criticize him for the sake of criticizing. I just think he missed the mark on this video. the biggest I see is the lack of angles. This original shot, like, it was composed somewhat like this. You know, I tilted a little bit for just the composition of the page that I was working on. But it was, like, very straight up and down. Like, it just looked like somebody squatting. It didn't even look like somebody really tilted it all that much. And so it comes across as somebody squatting midair. Plus, I don't know what the difference is between the symbiote, but he's shooting the web out of the top of his wrist, which Spider-Man traditionally shoots it out of the bottom of his wrist. Even whenever he's in the symbiote, I always thought, you know, he just flicked, like, out of the bottom of his wrist. Because the symbiote suit created its own webbing.
I mean, fucking Spider-Man's clear. I'm just saying.
Spider-Man
and I love
funny
Superman.
though. Is that like the new Spider-Man?
No, that's the black Spider-Man, but, like, for the Venom suit, that's what created the Venom suit. Can you have some more of that cookie?
Hey, oh, here you go, you got this.
Hiding the cookie from me.
Man, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No, maybe not yet.
It's gonna be gone.
No, I'm just fucking... There's gonna be, like, loud cracking noises on the podcast.
They like it.
Mm-hmm.
Open up the cookie.
Alright.
Hook me up. You can keep the dough. Too much icing on these pieces.
You said you taught for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to refine you and teach you, and it's not working out very well.
Yeah.
No, I'm an absolute mess tonight.
Not so messy.
I'm gonna refine him once.
I hope so. Until you get him house trained, he's gotta stay at your place.
Then he'll be there for a while.
Until you get him house trained.
What,
Housebroken.
What your boy Zack, Richard Meyer, from Comics Matter, formerly known as Diversity in Comics, was talking about was how comic book art is so boring nowadays. I think he's right. I think a lot of it is, but I think that's just the majority being very mediocre and very, like, mundane. Because it's a lot of people that got good enough at it to get paid to do it, and then they simply push on those fundamentals without any kind of growth as an artist, where they're pushing out beyond the boundaries of what they learned. But the problem I see with it is it's painting with a very, very broad stroke, and it's also painting from a perspective where Richard Meyer, your boy Zack, was talking a lot about stuff that he knew that would play to his audience, and that's not a criticism. Just as much as like I think I could add something to the conversation. Don't mind Twyla. She's like doting on me. They can hear you. Oh, this mic picks up everything. Okay. He talked about a lot of the stuff being very similar, and I think it's maybe like a bit of perfectionism. I agree with him there. It's sort of a lot of artists missing the forest for the trees. He talked about digital art, which I don't think really plays into it, because I remember switching over to digital art, a completely digital process, and I remember in about 2007, like 2006, 2007, switching over to a completely digital process. I had so many people say, no editor is ever going to hire you doing this digitally. I remember, like a lot of that taboo against working digitally early on, and I just switched over to it because I thought it was a lot more convenient. I think a lot of it comes down to shortcuts are easy and shorthand is hard. Shortcuts are the little ways you find to be able to save time in your artwork, for whether it's for the sake of just time itself, whether it's for the sake of a deadline, whether it's for the sake of what you're getting paid. Shorthand is actually the little shortcuts that you take where they have a purpose and they're meant to sort of display something in a minimalist fashion that might be longer and harder to draw in a more literal way. And yes, I just said longer and harder, as my lady friend Twyla just pointed out to me.
You had icing on your chin. I licked it off.
Yeah, there's definitely a homogenization in comic book art nowadays, and I think there always has been. It's just that we overlook those who were overlooked, and we focus on the greats, whereas, we think, like, about how much sort of similar comic book art there is nowadays. There's a lot of old stuff from the 70s that was flooded the market with a lot of stuff that was the house style in Marvel and house style in DC. So I don't think that that just accounts for modern day artwork. I think that accounts for, like, publishing as a whole throughout time. The most of it is kind of just mediocre dog shit. And a lot of it is that those people learn a limited shorthand enough to get them gigs, and then they never advance beyond that shorthand. Apart from that, I have a few ideas sketched down, but I'd rather just start kind of bullshitting on mic. Leave my notebook alone. I'd rather go a little bit freestyle here, especially since we've been having a few drinks tonight and enjoying ourselves. So I think that people will get, like, a little bit fast and loose and silly with it. And we're also eating fucking delicious cookie pie.
Cookie cake, man. Cookie cake was fucking badass icing. And Bill's sitting here just talking up a storm and just, like, being a philosopher.
Make sure you speak up so the mic can hear you.
No, I don't want them to hear me.
I want them to hear you. I want them to hear all of
you. Is this stuff you wrote?
Uh-huh.
Can I read it?
No.
I really can't? Alright.
You can't read it out loud.
I won't read it out loud, but can I read it?
You can read it. I'm going to go back through my notes here in a few.
Wow, Bill. You're pretty deep, babe.
No, I'm not. I'm just a fucking weirdo.
I love your weirdness. And I forgot where you were, or lost where you was.
Alright. We still only had Signquist drop in and comment and Hardus, so I don't mind the fact that we're just shoving our face full of cookie pie.
I feel like I should talk to her. I need to talk to her.
I'm not drawing yet, so let me just finish this off and we'll get going. Alright. I'm going to lock this layer because I'm a little bit anal retentive.
You're going to get anal retentive.
And just so that
you're going to fucking get anal retentive.
Drawing on that layer. The first thing that I noticed is a lack of angles. There's nothing to really imply any forward motion or any forward depth in his arm, other than that the hand is really big. It is. That's it. There's nothing like, and I'm going to sit here and sketch out how this could be improved. All right, let's say. Oh wait, no, that's. Let's make this. We need to fix our pencil so that it. So that it's showing a different opacity. Wait, it wasn't the opacity. It was in the hardness.
I hear your little feet. What are you doing, little man? You little cute little shit. What are you doing? I need you and I miss you. Give me a hug, man.
Please say hello.
Hey, it's Skylar.
Hello.
Skylar is my little nephew, and he wants to say hello on the stream.
He's the coolest kid ever.
So, what do you like, Skylar? What kind of stuff do you think is cool right now?
So I think we're going to make portals at school.
You're gonna make portals at school? What kind of portals? What are you talking about, fool?
Some type of sonic portals or what?
You're gonna make sonic portals? You always say some stuff that makes me wonder. Oh, we ate all the cookies. He was like trying to distract us with his intellect in order to get to the cookies.
All right, that's good.
Let's see. Scale hardness.
Eat all the crumbs. Don't pick up the icing.
Really,
you better wash your hands. That's good. That's good. Come on, you can explore. Alright, that's good.
All right. So what else do you think? What else do you think about the portals that are going to be coming up in your school? Why do you think they're going to be making portals like that?
Because I always like Sonic.
Because you always like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Did you see they're making a Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Did you see the preview art for it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was real or not, or if somebody just
you making
photoshopped
that little dot?
Huh?
I'm making that little dot when you show the pencil up.
Because it floats above the screen and it detects the stylus pen as it floats above the screen. It's a tablet. It's much like my Cintiq, but it's a lot more mobile. I can work from anywhere.
You cut your hair, Skylar, because I'm kind of upset. Who cut their hair?
Grandma, just his.
Oh my God, we need to go get it fixed.
Oh, I'm going on. Alright, go in there, baby. Yeah, move back at least.
Alright, Skylar, say bye.
I love you,
You can
little
come
man.
check in a little bit.
No, wait, I wasn't done with that.
That's okay.
What does that say?
That's all the stuff I've written down for notes.
Are you going to put on trees?
And then what's going to be on YouTube?
You can't go in here. Just let
We're going to watch it right now.
Okay.
He said on YouTube.
He's going to be in there be like, how do you find your channel, Boo? Uncle Boo.
Uncle Bill.
Alright, if you can see what I'm doing right now, I'm first off I'm fixing the element of it that is the most least action oriented, which is the straight on arm, and then I'm adding in his hand going up so that he's doing the more traditional I don't know, you would call it like the 2-finger down Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
The more 2-finger down. I've hired these people tonight to just distract me as much as possible with absolute silliness and absurdity.
That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get.
And it's working. Everything is working as planned. It may seem like chaos, but it's actually a controlled chaos.
We can have chaos. You want, but we won't.
She's like, we can blow smoke if you want. But, yeah, I'm doing the more traditional Spider-Man 2-finger, like 2-finger in the palm. Twyla keeps laughing anytime I say 2 fingers.
I think I'm sorry.
So I apologize to any of our more prudent and more
wow.
or no, prudish, not prudent. To our more prudish, our prudish viewers. I don't know. You never know who's listening. There's spies everywhere.
2 fingers.
Touching tips. Yeah, there's spies everywhere. I mean, you gotta think.
I'm just spying on us. You got.
You already
need a
know.
better job.
Sometimes I think I'm spying on myself.
Yeah. I do spy on myself.
I'm not biggest spy. I'm my biggest spy. I'm the worst enemy.
I think I opened like the Pandora's box of conversation there with the
Spy shit.
the spy remark. Yeah. So how do you spy on yourself? How do you sneak up on yourself enough to spy on yourself? That's my question.
Believe me, you have those moments like, damn, what are you doing? You gotta stop this.
Oh, we got somebody else tuning in. Let me check my YouTube on my phone. I can't see who's actually tuning in though. It'll show me somebody's tuning in, but no, live chat. Yeah.
Announce yourself.
Announce yourself.
Who are you?
You who are viewing.
Comment.
You who are watching us. They can comment in the chat.
Spy?
They're fucking spies. You fucking feds.
Someone's spying on you.
You CIA spies. Alright, no, I don't want to do that yet. Alright, I'm not going to figure that out. But basically we fixed the angle in the arm in a way that is way more appealing to getting energy into the piece. And just more interesting. It doesn't really work from one of my points, which was that it's good to have things be able to be in silhouette, but I mean, you can't have every angle be in silhouette, so, but that is something to work towards, that everything you do, just the linear silhouette of it could represent the action. So that's something just to keep in mind. This Spider-Man looks like he was given like an alien head, like it's like Nefertiti's son. This shoulder seems like it could be going out a lot more. It just seems really pushed in there, and that's another thing. There's just less dynamics on things than could be done. Got this arm going back. Who knows? It's back there. We can see the bottom of it, but going who knows where. And this one going up. The chest has different shapes as it is put in different positions, which is overlooked by a lot of artists. Okay.
Let me see that book. Let me see that.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, at this point, I want to introduce my co-hosts tonight. I know, we're already like a half hour in, 36 minutes in, and I'm only now introducing them, but forgive me, I can be a little bit self-indulgent. First off, we have my lovely friend Twyla over here, who, yeah, tolerates a lot of my BS, and is a very interesting gal, and has a very, like, down-to-earth. What are you scribbling out on my...
Yeah, none of your damn business. I'm scribbling it out.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Secondly, we have my sister Heather.
She's awesome. She's
who
great.
is a perennial boss bitch.
She definitely is.
And
she is boss bitch for real.
she is a big inspiration on me in terms of just having like the hustle in your work, regardless of what it is. First off, Twyla, how fucking annoying was it to like wait for me to get everything set up on the stream?
Oh my god, I almost passed out.
Because it seemed like you were
Sleep.
you were really like, you were at the point where you're like, I'm going to sleep. You're fucking boring the shit out of me.
What? I forgot the question.
I said, how boring was it to wait on me to set up everything?
Hard. I missed
It was alright when we was
Alright. You were telling me something earlier, and I'm not gonna like.
Go ahead, say whatever.
I'm not
I don't
gonna
care.
name
You can
any like specifics, but you were telling me about somebody who kind of threw their life up into disarray in order to follow Bernie Sanders.
Oh yeah.
my
Yeah.
My
Do
niece's parents.
you want to tell us about that?
No, not really.
I thought it was interesting.
Listen, this is
Like
what
why
happened.
did she?
Listen, she has 5 kids.
Okay.
She and she left one who had Asperger. Am I saying that right? Asperger's.
Asperger's, yeah.
Okay, he was the youngest one, and then she ended up having a kid by this guy. Anyway, she left 4 underage kids, and she left them all. One was pregnant and was left in a unwed mother's home, and I got her and her newborn baby out. I took a 15-year-old home and a newborn baby. I did that for 6 months.
Jeez.
But they went off to fucking follow Bernie Sanders, man.
Were they working with him though?
Yes, they were big campaigners, and they straight left 4 underage kids in Parkersburg and just left. And then it was very
That's crazy.
yeah. And he didn't even fucking win, so I mean, I hope they feel good about themselves.
It just scares me because, like, yeah, I'm averse to politics to begin with, so.
Yeah, she really did. She left 4 underage kids, and
Wait. I had a domestically one.
what do you
But
got?
it tastes a little bit like
Let me taste it.
last bit.
Let me see what it says. It says, oh, you got a mystery one.
Yeah, mystery one.
It looks like bubblegum flavor.
I know I had this one.
Did it taste yummy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's the bubblegum.
Yeah?
All right, now I'm not sure how
So
I want
the
to
next
position the
one
legs
was
on
blue,
this.
Yeah.
and I tasted, and I think it was a cherry one.
A cherry one.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got bubble gum.
So Skylar, what kind of YouTube channels do you watch?
I just watched one.
You just watch one? What's that?
It's a video when I'm.
Come here, butthead. You gotta talk into the tablet. Come here. You gotta talk into the tablet.
What?
What YouTube channels do you watch?
So I watch J Station. He does 3 a.m. challenges.
What's a 3 a.m. challenge?
It's when it's 3 a.m. or 3:48 or 3
It's around 3 a.m. So
What?
it's around 3 a.m.
What?
It's around 3 a.m. It
Is
doesn't have to be
3
exact.
a.m.?
No, it's not 3 a.m. right now. I'm saying so the 3 a.m. challenges happen around 3 a.m. Is that correct?
What?
The three on this guy's channel, the 3 a.m. challenges happen around 3 a.m. Is that correct?
What hour is that?
What did you say?
Okay, so they do it at 3. What hour is that? What do they call it? What hour?
3 a.m.
What hour, though? They call it, what, the witching hour or the devil's hour?
That's 3
Yeah,
a.m.
the
is
devil's hour.
Oh,
The
See, we know a
devil's
little
Hello?
something, something.
3 a.m. is
What's
the
what?
devil's hour.
It
What?
is. Oh my! Did you?
My
hear
sister
this
just
baby?
answers.
Did you just hear this baby say 3 a.m. is the devil's
Yeah,
hour?
like, the one
My
that was
sister
voice,
just
I hope.
answers her phone in the middle of the podcast. I love
Okay.
I love the way
Oh,
that
I
this
want
is
to do
going.
stuff too. I didn't talk.
Go ahead.
I can't. I'm not allowed.
What do you not allowed
I
to
ain't
do?
allowed to say it.
What? I told you allowed to say anything.
What? No, I haven't.
All right,
been
I'm
that way.
taking
I've
the,
got chance been bad.
I promise you.
The other leg, and I am pushing it further down so that it is at more of an angle. And
I see what I look like with this.
Okay.
just to give two different angles to these legs, because it looks like he took a picture of someone squatting and then used it as reference or just traced it in order to draw Spider-Man in midair. And that's the problem with this piece is there's so little there's so little exaggerated angular visual language in it that it doesn't get across the energetic nature of the character. And that's what I was keep trying to get back to if Twyla doesn't keep stealing my notebook. The points that I wanted to cover in terms of the Comics Matter with Your Boi Zack video. Let's see, he talked about sort of the homogenization. I think that's just because people don't learn a wide range of techniques, and they think they can just be, they can do this type of art or that type of art, and that means they only have to learn so much, whereas you should really be pulling from everything. I think a lot of it has to do with composition, and in terms of composition, I tend to try to use the Loomis composition technique. He does a technique where you how would you say, you do like this grid angular line pattern, and there's a certain technique to the pattern that kind of gives you an element of chaos into the composition, or what the final composition would be. I think that it's important to sort of use and remix familiar visual shorthand to portray, I guess, more subversive ideas. Like he was talking about how Marvel nowadays is not really that open to subversive elements in their storytelling, and from that point, that's why the art is boring. No, I think that you can, it doesn't matter what your subject matter is, if you find the proper way to portray it, Especially if you can do it without the licensor or editors even realize that you're maybe subverting the ideas that the comic's trying to get across. You can really do anything interesting with anything at all. It's not just a matter of what you have to work with. It's a matter of how you work and remix those ideas. There's a lot of desire to copy other artists and not experiment. Like, everybody wants to be a version of J. Scott Campbell, or a version of Joe Madureira, or a version of Adam Hughes, or a version of Terry Dodson. And nobody wants to actually sort of forge their own path and get somewhere with their own decisions about remixing the visual art. They want somebody else to do the heavy lifting for them, and just so that they can copy it.
Cool.
I haven't gone as far as I think I could go in the just preliminary sketch. I'm gonna, let's see what happens whenever we get rid of this. Alright, well, I'm gonna put the eyes in there just so that the alright, put the eyes in there just to give us a basic idea. And Skylar is playing with a little toy car over there, so if you hear like a whirring sound,
Oh shit.
alright,
I'm in too.
let's do that as like your basic composition. And then
Get it. Get it.
Is this GT's?
I don't know, but you better get that thing in there.
We don't have those. All I have is a peanut.
I don't know if you want to open this.
Just read it when
Let me see it.
we put our tongue.
alright, I'm trying to
I'm not
think
gonna
of
put my tongue on it.
how we can
Let's
throw
put my tongue
more
on it.
interesting elements. What, on what?
I don't know that. Put your tongue on it.
Why? What happens when you put your tongue on it?
I don't know. He did it.
Nothing at all.
Crazy Uncle Bill.
Nothing happens when you put your tongue on it. That's
He
what I've
likes it,
learned
it's
from
simple.
2019 so far. No, nothing happens when you put your tongue on it. I'm actually going to delete this layer because we've gotten everything we can get from that.
My butt cracks.
And now I'm going to lighten this one and figure out how we can make it more interesting. I've already tried to expand on a couple different things that they attempted to do in the original piece. And now it's just a matter of actually going over it and sort of freestyling stuff. Let's make it that a multiply layer. Multiply layer, if you don't know, sort of multiplies the shading over top of the layer underneath. So if you have stuff drawn underneath and you want to sketch on top, it's good to have the top you're sketching on be a multiply layer.
But it didn't show this one.
Alright, how can we push this even farther?
Different ones. Except this one.
Alright, before we go into that,
Watch what this one does.
Heather,
What?
what do you do? Tell us about the
We
couponing.
put a bullet
Tell
and
us
see what
about
happens.
what you do
We try to stick the bullet in the hole.
for fun and profit.
I coupon. I'm an extreme couponer. Look for deals. I basically look for free products that give overage, and I do bulk shopping trips for little money.
Alright, speak up a little bit. You coupon.
I coupon,
You
and
get.
I run a group, local group. We talk about couponing and deals, and we give free products to them. Basically, I coupon. I collect extreme coupon. I got a
Yeah,
little
she's an
stockpile.
extreme coupon.
And I make up little household baskets and sell them and give them, and that's about it.
Yeah, Heather is probably, I would say, my biggest, the person I want to emulate the most in terms of my work, especially as of late, just because she has
By
this.
the way, take care of yourself and others.
Well, yeah, and you have that
I like
innate
that.
hustle that you've always been able to pull something out of nothing, no matter what. And I've not,
You gotta work with what's around you, what you have available, instead of thinking about what you don't have. You gotta look at what you have available around you.
Yeah.
Or resources. And it's not all about money. You know, there are lots of different resources and ways to... It's not always about money. A lot of the ways I've made money is by bargaining, trading. I do trades with people.
She's a barter.
You know how many people have brought me like just old stuff they didn't want? I'd give them products they need and then be able to turn around and sell that stuff. Dressers, all kinds of stuff. It's useless to them, and then they get rid of it. Be able to shop at my store to get what they need. It's about networking too. I network with a lot of local people. Throw all that together.
So for those antisocial people listening in, what tips do you think you could give them about networking?
Oh, yeah, you can't. I think being antisocial right now and being successful in business, that can't go together. Because people are resources too.
Right.
And you want to use that, not in a bad way, but that's why you don't want to ever make enemies in this life. You want to keep as many people on your side as possible, because when it's time to make moves, you're going to need people to make that happen. I think even if you don't have it fully figured out, networking, building connections, building relationships, and keeping them keep them all good, you know, make sure everybody has a positive relationship with you.
So for like people that feel like they don't have it all figured out.
Yeah, don't try to figure it all out. You just got to get up and do what you can do in that day. I never had anything figured
take it
out.
day by day.
I never had anything figured out. And if you sit around and wait until you figure it out, you're not going to get there. You just got to, when you don't have it figured out, you just got to get up and do what you can do in that day. Eventually it all kind of comes together and makes sense and you can do something with it. But I used to be like that, where I'd kind of sit till I had it figured out. Now I learned you got to be making moves. You got to be up working, doing what you can.
So, where's the ashtray
Down
at?
here.
I was going right here too.
Don't mind us, we just moved the ashtray. So, like, do you feel like people get limited by...
Thinking they're going to do it all alone.
Yeah, and thinking that they're going to have it all figured out from the start.
Yes.
And that's how. That's just a way to trick yourself into getting by.
I used to sit still. I used to sit still and not make moves because I didn't have it figured out. And when I was put in a position where I had, failure was not an option. Of course, I didn't have it figured out, so I just got up and did what I could each day. And it all come together. And basically, the funny thing is, where I thought it was going to go, what I thought I was going to do with it, ended up being very different what I really did do with it. So, and don't try to figure it all out at once, Sometimes you got to let things come together and leave your options open. Kind of see where it goes, where things take you. And follow something that you love doing. Can't go wrong with that.
Now, what is it that interests you? We have somebody beating on the door. It's probably one of the children. What is it that interests you about couponing? What is it that you think that where that obsessive comes from? Where you get so into it that you you go hard all night through several different stores.
Yeah, once you do it and you get that taste of it and you realize what you can do and what you can pull off. And it does get to be time consuming, so the more you put into it, the more you're going to get. I actually followed it for years before I actually did anything with it. So when I did get started, I had a nice info about it. I don't know, first time you go to a store with just a little bit of money and you're able to get a whole buggy full of shit.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
it's easy to keep going. It's exciting.
Right, yeah.
It's like a treasure hunt, And I don't fully plan out all my hauls. I know all the deals and I just go after, I just leave it open, I just start going after deals. So to me, it's like a treasure hunt. It's exciting at the end of the night coming home, pulling everything out, seeing what you got, seeing what you spent. Yeah. It's exciting. Some people take to it, some You can tell right away. They either get it and you can tell they're going to go with it. Most people just fizzle out because it is a lot of work.
Well, what is it that you can tell about someone where you know that they're going to pick up on it in a way that like the average person wouldn't? Like what?
You can't
what
really
are the?
teach it. You can't really teach it. So basically, you give them the resources. You kind of tell them where to go, what to keep up on, and they'll just go for it. The ones that aren't, they kind of continuously want you to hold their hand. They're constant. They're not keeping up on it themselves. The ones that have went for it, I've only spent a few hours with, giving them basically my resources, and then they take it from there. The ones that don't, they don't keep up on it. They don't keep actively looking for deals. They keep bugging me, going, "How do I do this?" They half-ass it. You can't wing it. You gotta know what you're doing. Preparation, prep. I used to want to just run for it and go, and I'd half-ass it. But now I've learned just spend lots of time prepping, and then you'll make the most of that time you're out.
See, I think like a lot of things that you brought up are things that are
Can apply to everything.
yeah, like the old Buddhist quote, like once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things. I think especially the idea that once you give somebody the basics and you see what they do with it, like that applies to art really really well, especially because as soon as you give somebody the fundamentals and then you're going to see what they do with it in their next couple pieces,
So
you're going to
just
see
sit
whether
on it,
they're
don't do
applying it.
anything.
Yeah. And then also, like you said, prep. Like, I mean, what I was joking about at the beginning of the stream was that you guys were getting so fucking annoyed and frustrated about how long.
Prep for those.
Yeah, it was taking me to set everything up because I was actually prepping for it and wanted to try to do something at a semi-professional level. Like even if we were kind of doing it a little off the cuff. And I'm terrible about doing it by myself just because I can't sit there and talk to myself.
You can't?
And no, I can talk to other people, but whenever it comes to like talking
It's
about like,
hard, yeah.
I already know everything I'm going to say, so I'm just boring myself by blathering on about it, you know. So having other people to bounce off of or ask questions to definitely helps.
Element.
Yeah, it adds that little bit of element of novelty.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're already getting somewhere interesting with this Spider-Man picture, or at least redoing that. My sister's gonna go take care of some shrimp, and I'm gonna sit here with Twyla and bullshit. Twyla. Now I have been drinking a little bit tonight. Twyla is completely sober though. 100%. She has not drank at all, and she is wide awake.
I'm ready to go to bed and I drink too much.
I don't think you drank too much. I think you're alright.
I'm ready for bed.
Alright, well, if you want to jump off the stream, you can. I'm going to sit in here and finish up what I'm doing.
How are you going to be?
I'm going to be a while.
Babe.
I told you I was going to be a while when I first started the stream.
You said 2 hours at the fucking most.
And what time is it now? No, I'm at 58 minutes. I'm not even at 1 hour. See, I've got a timer.
Oh, then I got a timer too. I'm giving you one more fucking hour.
Okay. We'll see if we can finish this up in one more fucking hour.
Babe.
Okay, alright. I will, I promise. I know. Twyla has, we've been enjoying a few drinks tonight and relaxing and bullshitting about stuff. Both just me and her and with my sister. And, I wanted to actually test out this stream, idea, based on, the fact that I think one of the basic things missing from comic book art nowadays is cartooning. And I had the idea from Comics Matter with you Boi Zack's stream earlier, and I thought it would be fun to actually just go in depth and point out some things where I could actually show what was actually missing from I think a lot of modern day comic book art. My friend Twyla over here is trying to tempt me My lovely friend Twyla is
Yeah.
trying to tempt me from finishing the
Just
stream.
so y'all get off this thing. And
We had the same problem on the stream on Crypto Comics the other night. We were very silent because we muted the mic for a little while.
Oh, that was fun.
And we had a little bit of fun. So, Matthew, I'm sorry. Actually, well, yeah, I'm not going to say his full name. But Crypto Comics, formerly known as Adrenaline Overload on Twitter. He doesn't have a Twitter now. He had us on, and we were very silent during a huge portion of the stream at the end because we got a little distracted. So I just want to apologize for that.
Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all.
No, I'm not sorry. I'm just
I'm not apologetic at all.
I was abandoning my responsibilities as a broadcaster that night. Keep bumping my thing. It's gonna be like. You said I got another hour, right?
I'll give you 1 hour.
Give me 1 hour. She's gonna give me 1 hour, folks. All right, so let's try to finish this up in 1 hour. I've not even really changed too much from the original image on the cover. I've actually just Twyla keeps demanding kisses. I've actually just taken and added little bits here and there to it that would, I think, liven up this very basic, very simple composition, especially the body composition and the action composition. It really hasn't taken much to liven it up just a little bit. But I think the basic idea is there, but I think that you know what? I think we can push it even further. Let's take a look at this. What if we select just from they're playing with Nerf guns behind us. Alright, let's take that and let's I'm going to make that lighter and just use that as a basis and add, I think, some more dynamics to it. It always puts a little shadow on the very top, so now we don't want to select, we want to draw. Alright. Alright, I'm pulling this leg back a little bit. And I can hear somebody yelling outside, which makes it even more interesting. This is in a very small town in West Virginia, and so I'm trying to foreshorten this leg a little bit. Alright, see, I don't know if that works any better or not. No, that doesn't work. Let's get rid of all that. I'm going to get rid of all that and a moment of... Alright, let's just get... Alright. let's try transforming him a little bit more. Alright. Now I can't have that. Alright, there we go. No, I don't really like that one because that takes a lot of the piss out of the angle. Well, how about this? What if we just took and... What if we just took and did something like this? Alright, keep that butt down there. And then... I mean, like, how far do you want them thighs to go out? You know what I mean? I think they should maybe go out to here. Yeah, that seems about right. Alright. You can hear my nephew is just going absolutely crazy in the other room. Alright. Let's try manipulating the entire thing. And I think, like, I'm showing how digital can actually positively affect a piece instead of thinking of digital as this negative thing that makes bland art. Just by being able to go through and manipulate things on the fly allows me to a much wider range of possibilities in the finished piece. And it also allows the creativity to come out in the process instead of thinking that you can pre-plan everything. Are you and Skylar making fun of me over there? I think my little nephew is making fun of me over here.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm gonna shoot you.
Gonna shoot me? What, with his Nerf gun?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I think I'm okay with that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I come up dead by Nerf gun, just know that I was not suicidal.
It was Skylar and Twyla.
It was Skylar and Twyla. They were plotting against me. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. Twyla whispering sweet nothings into my ear over here. I don't even know how much that the microphone is picking up. So you could be just like coming in through loud and clear. No, I think you're coming in through loud and clear.
Can you tell? Where's people's comments?
I don't know. I haven't checked the comments in a while. Well, there's at least one person watching and 2 people that have commented, 2 people that have liked it. So let's check the comments real quick. Marvelous Universe, I follow you on Twitter. I'm Alex. I just found your channel. Good job drawing, by the way. Thank you, Marvelous Universe. He put that down about 10:24 p.m. So that was only 6 minutes ago. He might still be watching. Thank you very much, Marvelous Universe. We were just flying by the seat of our pants tonight and seeing exactly what we can pull off with a stream like this. I'd actually written tons of notes in order to try to have a concise thing to this, but you know, realizing it's going to take like 2 hours to draw anything worth looking at is you realize like you have plenty of time to bullshit. I've got my nephew in here now playing with his Nerf gun. We're all just having a little bit of fun tonight.
Trying.
Where's my notebook at? Yeah, my notebook.
Hey,
right
I wrote a note too. I'm glad I scratched it out.
No, it's okay. Yeah. I think the other thing that your boy Zack touched on that was worth touching on was having a catalog of work, having a bunch of work in the can, including, I think, having a book, like at least a 80 to 120 page book. And I have that with double jumpers, and I realized, like, no, I need to get something fresh out, something that is obviously a lot of work held together, and that's one of the things that I agree with him on, and that's one of my limitations, is just the sort of instability in my own life over the past few years has limited me in being able to produce a real fresh body of work. But that's also something that I plan on working on in the next few months or so, and probably across the next 6 to 8 months. I want to be actually producing a work of my own that's wholly my own.
He's gonna get mad at us.
Yeah, you guys are loud with that.
You're gonna get shot with a Nerf gun if you don't stop.
Loud with that Nerf gun.
Yeah, with this.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
How cool is that?
I see that. How loud is that?
You don't care.
And with these.
Don't give a damn.
My
We have enough battles.
my half Mexican nephew is I guess he's got that cartel blood in him. He's got 2 Nerf guns ready to bear.
He's ready to go, dude.
And I'm sure somebody out there will consider that to be like a awful racist joke, but
That is so fucked up, dude. That's fucked up.
you know, my mom and my stepdad refer to my little nephew as their beaner baby. So
Really? How ignorant.
I know, that's awful,
If
isn't
they're
it? Like how
listening,
dare somebody
ignorant.
make a joking term of endearment about someone that they love
That's not very
dearly.
I'm sorry.
That's,
I don't agree with that at all.
Making this hand a bit smaller. Okay. I need to make the other one a bit bigger.
Baby, make it bigger.
That's what she
Like
said.
9 inches bigger.
8.5. Just 8.5.
What? Gotta go, bro.
Oh, thanks for Oh, you just kicked my shit. I know. Jesus. Alright, let's try to get this sorted out again. Sorry about that. I just realized I'm probably streaming in, I don't think I wonder how the stream is coming across, whether it's coming across in widescreen or whether it's coming across in horizontal phone mode. I should probably check that. Let's check that real quick. Actually, yeah, I can see it already. I should probably check that. Yeah, I can hear myself. I can hear myself coming across. Yeah, I should probably just keep this. So now let's see what happens whenever I switch it over into horizontal. Like I've had it vertical video this whole time. Let's see. Is it going to switch to vertical video? Or is it going to switch to horizontal? Oh my god! It made it smaller.
I didn't touch it.
No, it's not you. It made it smaller because the
That's
original
what she
way I started this in a vertical video. And now it made it even like there's no saving this cast. There's absolutely no saving this
Let's
cast.
get off here and go to bed.
What happens if it gets smaller?
Okay, it disappears.
When it gets smaller, your wife leaves you and takes all your money.
No, that happens. That does happen.
Alright, I'm gonna make this hand
You know what? That's ignorant. That's an ignorant statement that I am gonna take back.
What happens if we press this?
Not everyone's the same.
Ran it in the wrong.
What happens if we press this?
No, well, that's just it playing.
Bill,
What?
tell Uncle Bill he's the greatest.
I'm not the greatest.
You're greatest, Uncle Bill.
Oh, ain't that sweet, guys?
I'm not anywhere
He
near
really
the
is. You
greatest.
guys have no idea how great Bill is. He's amazing.
Alright, I'm going to make this
Amazing.
hand
Absolutely
bigger.
amazing.
Alright, Skylar.
No, we're
You're
not
bumping.
leaving.
You're bumping my stand. No, he's bumping my stand.
Well, I'm just saying
Bumping my stand.
I know what you're drawing, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm drawing Spider-Man. Oh, I have that selection stayed up.
Batman sucks dick. Batman is horrible. Batman sucks. He can't even fly. No, Spider-Man's alright. He's alright. Superman is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? He can fly. Superman can fly. Batman can't even fly. He don't even have... Just, I'm telling you, Batman sucks.
Tails is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can fly with his own tail.
Superman's where it's at. Kryptonite, Jewel, everything. Everything. Oh my god, I love Superman. I do. Kryptonite. What do you like about a piece of kryptonite? And it makes fat rain.
Yeah, but kryptonite is Superman's weakness.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I love jewels. I'm a geologist. I like to read.
Yeah, you do like what minerals?
I love all that.
They're minerals, Marie. They're not rocks.
What's that off of?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Minerals, Marie. All right.
We've been in this an hour.
About an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, I don't need to bitch you go.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna finish up exactly what I was
Meant to
just
set
getting
out to do.
across. Yeah.
So it's gonna take a few hours.
No, it's not gonna take a couple of few hours. I'm gonna do it within the next 45 minutes. I'll finish up everything.
You are
All right.
quick.
I found a remote.
Oh, did you hear that? She said you are quick. Oh, what time?
That's a
What
false
time is it
statement,
anyway?
though. That's a false statement, though. Because
time is it
You
anyway?
make everything amazing.
What time is it anyway? It's 10:39. So it's too late for me to even go over. Is it too late for you to go over and get more beer?
I don't want. You have to go to my house and get mine.
All right, I'll get your card.
Okay, well.
All right, I'm gonna set this to multiply. All right,
I'm done.
now,
Skylar, you know what? You're the coolest kid I've met in a long time.
another reason that this shit is as predictable and mundane as it is that
You're not gonna give me no love, bro.
there's not a lot of experimentation in the spot blacks. Let's.
Twice your mouth.
Skylar just threw the gun he was holding.
I really do love you.
Wait a minute. I would not throw that.
Oh, we're having a
A love moment. I really
we're having a
love
full
this.
house moment
I
over
promise
here.
you.
I keep hitting this
love this
goddamn
so
button.
much.
Why?
Keep hitting this goddamn button. There we go.
Quick, stay in there.
What?
Who ate my candy?
Huh?
Blame Bill. I
I didn't eat
swear
your
to
candy.
God, I'm making a shirt that says Blame Bill. It's gonna say Blame Bill with like an arrow pointing. I'm telling you, watch me.
I actually would have no problem with that.
Can I really? And you
Yeah.
won't get mad?
No,
Because I'm gonna blame a lot of
I
stuff
think it was
on you.
funny.
Hey guys.
I watched me.
Try-
I'm gonna get small, large, fucking extra large. Everybody's gonna get one. Blame Bill.
Try
My
to
friends do it
guess
back
if
home,
Bill's lying.
$100 for
They
10
ate
t-shirts.
my candy or not?
I want to build
I didn't
like
eat your
ball,
candy.
like ball t-shirts. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? Like baseball
you're
shirts.
lying.
And then
Yes,
I'll say,
that's a
Blame
trick.
Bill.
Alright, I'm gonna throw in some like quick spot blacks on this. Because we've already got the farm down. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to frame out
Taking my friend.
the
Oh my
shapes
God, that's like Archie.
that a body
Who
makes.
is that, babe? Who is that? Is that Archie?
No, that's the guy. That's the guy from Scooby Doo. That's Fred from Scooby Doo.
Okay. That's like Archie
The shapes, and you will notice that highlights often hit on the peaks of where two.
Let's give me that.
What's the word I'm looking
Wait,
for?
God.
Right.
Two sort of plates of shape arrive, much like
I'm trying to figure out.
the Earth has plates like underneath it that make up the shapes of the continents. You have shapes, sort of plates of shape on the human body, and you can get a lot of definition and a lot of interest by playing off of these shapes, these facets of the human body, where the different shapes come together, and that includes sort of very complex,
You need to get that
a very
stuff out.
complex look at the way the human body is made up of shapes. and the way those shapes interact, or at least with planes, you know, sort of planes of shape. Each of those ribs I'm going to make one shape. Each of those upper ribs I'm going to make one shape. Alright.
I'm going to sit with you all the time.
I'm
going to sit with you all the time.
Okay, well I'm like finishing up now, at least in terms of having something semi-finished that people can kind of take a look at, in terms of the point I was trying to make with why a lot of the comic book art nowadays can be boring and homogenized. I think has a lot to do with people not experimenting with both line and the shape of ink, like in the spot black. Spot blacks is just ink in shape. It's just blacks in shape. I didn't want to change to that. I'll keep it at the pencil.
I don't think Bubby wants to open it.
I am having so much trouble not opening stuff like that wants to automatically open on the stream tonight. What are you screaming about, Skylar? Twyla is bouncing balls. The grown adult is bouncing balls right next to me.
Dude, I'm the funnest adult you'll ever
Skylar,
meet. I'm the funnest adult you'll ever meet.
You really are a fun adult.
Put it back to me!
Oh wait, no, I didn't want that. I want the pencil.
Damn, jeez.
Jeez.
Jeez, man. Right. And I'm blocking off the shapes of spot blacks in a way that, because this is a heavily blacked character, it's the Black Suit Spider-Man. So I'm trying to use a sort of minimalist spot blacks to actually define.
My tits are gonna be like up here, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to use the spot blacks to actually define
I want to wear a costume.
the figure.
But I want my boobs like out, like, you know what I'm saying, like just out.
Twyla is trying to distract me with thoughts of her boobs in a Wonder Woman costume, and as any strong, independent man who don't need no woman, I am going to I'm going to push forward. I'm going to push forward and finish my work.
You just shot me down about, oh my gosh. Wow, I feel hurt.
I'm not trying to shoot you down.
You just shot me down. I was just telling you about my Wonder Woman costume, and you just shot me down.
I know. I want to see that Wonder Woman costume, but right now it's I'm trying to finish up this video, and I think thinking about that Wonder Woman costume is going to distract me too much. And Skylar, you better stop throwing that goddamn ball around, or I'm gonna whoop your monkey fucking Mexican ass. You hear me?
Oh my god! Again, I'm serious.
That's my fucking nephew, and I love him. And stop throwing your ball around. No, you have to talk to him that way because he's a fucking insane little child.
He ain't no Mexican.
He's an insane little child.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's fun as fuck.
Hey, Tyler, you love your Uncle Bill, right?
What are you looking at?
Oh my god! You just swore off on it. Now you don't like me. Do you like your Uncle Bill? No. Oh,
he says no.
I'm telling you, Uncle Bill's pretty cool. You sure you don't like him?
He says straight, don't throw that ball over here. If you hear a big ka-thunk. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
How, what am I not looking at?
What do you want everybody to know about how hard it is being Skylar?
Yeah, tell us about how hard it is being Skylar. Tell us.
I am not telling.
Why? Is that really that hard?
He said, 'cause snitches get stitches, bitches.
He just looked at you like, that's what I should have said. How he just.
So what do you want to tell us? What do you want to tell the people listening out there, Skylar?
I'm the coolest kid up on
Not
the
telling you.
Tell him I'm the coolest
well,
kid.
what do you want to tell them?
Tell him you're the coolest kid.
What do you want to tell them?
I don't want to tell. I'm telling nothing about your business.
Are we still talking?
Yeah, we're still talking.
Your kid's being mouthy like Heather. He said, He just said, I ain't telling you nothing how I feel.
He said, I ain't telling you nothing about my business.
Yeah, it's exactly what he
Surly's guy.
I'm telling you what, I swear.
Oh, it's pink.
He's amazing. He makes me laugh and, yeah.
Skylar is...
I ain't telling nothing about your business.
Skylar,
What are you drawing?
I'm drawing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, does it look like Spider-Man?
No. It looks like walks.
Looks like walks.
Walks.
No, walks.
Rocks?
Rocks.
Yeah, walks.
Okay, I thought you meant like walk, like what they use in a Chinese restaurant to cook. That's not racist.
I didn't say anything, and you said that's not racist. Cause
You said
know.
shh.
I didn't say anything.
Chinese restaurants, they use woks to cook in a lot of times. It's like a big pan that you can cook stir fry in. Yeah.
Put my hand out the
I can't even go over to the dollar store to get
Put my
food.
hand out the window. Doing it. Look.
What are you trying to do?
What's wrong with me?
All right,
What is wrong with me, man?
we are about done
Oh my
making
God.
our
I
point.
just realized there's shit wrong with me, man.
There's tons of shit wrong with you, man.
Oh my God.
Skylar just literally pratfalled.
I'm fake.
and is laughing right now. For Tyler pratfalls, he will like do the best. He has no pain sensitivity, so that boy will pratfall like a young Buster Keaton. God, I hit the fucking button again. There we go.
Don't go that way, because Uncle Bill really is busy.
I hit the goddamn button again. Alright.
He's cussing like a mother. You know.
Next time I'm gonna have to remember to not do it in vertical video mode whenever I start the fucking video.
Yeah, let's do it in video where we can see everybody. They can
Well,
see
no,
us.
but I shit it all out. I started it in a vertical mode, and now if I change it to horizontal, it makes it even smaller, so it's like tiny within tiny. So this is a failed test stream. This is a completely failure of a test stream. But what are you doing, fool? Playing with it? Alright. So, anyway, the point that I wanted to get across was that the problem with the original image was that it had no energy. And energy has a lot to do with angles and curves and the way they use things. Even this is very limited, but I was working with something that was so stilted that I was trying to do something from that, something that was at least from the perspective of what I guess they were trying to get across in that. I don't really know what it was. All I know is that it was very much looked like they just took reference material. And remember,
how he did that.
well, JT took what off? What did he take off?
With this.
What?
Somehow.
Well, we shouldn't probably mess with that.
One of
It's
the
a $200 paddle.
Alright, so, anyway, from all of us here at the Blanket Ship compound in outside reality space and time, to all you cats that are watching, or if I see you've got like 6 comments, I can't wait to see what they are. Yeah, we're gonna hope to do more of these streams, and I hope you enjoyed it. And from all of us to all of you, from Twyla, from Skylar, from Heather, much love, infinite mojo to you, super profundo on the early eve of your day.
God bless.
And yeah, do something with it. All right, peace out.
Yeah.